everyone. It's Wednesday evening. It's time for Weather Geeks on a day that had a lot of promise as far as severe weather. Now, of course, we don't root for severe weather, but the ingredients were pretty impressive today. I kind of thought we would have a pretty high-end severe weather day across our area. We had a lot of ingredients, but maybe just not quite enough to fully bake that cake. We had tons and tons of wind shear above our heads, especially in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, but in the very lowest levels of the atmosphere, maybe the shear wasn't quite enough today, but we had plenty of other ingredients, including that mid-level wind shear. We had some sunshine for a while, midday to afternoon, especially in far eastern parts of our Ohio counties into western PA, and so that would aid in the instability, but for the most part, this kind of underachieved when it came to severe weather, with maybe one exception, which we'll talk about in just a moment. One thing for sure, it brought a lot of rain. This was pretty much expected as far as the rainfall totals. Some places had more than others. Transfer over in Mercer County, 1.58 over the last 24 hours. Close to an inch down towards Glenmore and Calcutta in southern Columbiana County. About an inch in Leetonia. About an inch in Newton Falls. And a little more than that up towards Mesopotamia. All these are actual rain gauges across the area. Now, we did have late in this episode of severe weather, we had one report of some damage over in northeastern Mercer County around the Stoneboro area. Reports of trees snapped off halfway up, steel roofs removed, intersection of State Route 358 and 845. This was at 6:20 this evening. Based on this report and some of the radar data around that time, I guess I wouldn't be totally surprised if we ended up having a brief spin-up, possibly a weak tornado on the ground briefly in northeastern parts of Mercer County. This is a velocity data loop from 6 o'clock to 6:30 off the Pittsburgh radar. But you don't see any sort of big rotational couplet here. There is a cluster of strong winds shown on this imagery. So we might have had straight line winds. We might have had a spin-up tornado briefly in northeastern Mercer County during the 6 o'clock hour. Otherwise, yeah, you can't find many storm reports across the region today. Overall, this event kind of underachieved. We had a 5% tornado contour drawn across eastern Ohio, the panhandle of West Virginia, western PA today, meaning a 5% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any spot. And, yeah, not a lot of storm reports today, so the ingredients just didn't quite come together perfectly to produce a high-end day. I was pretty worried that we would have a pretty significant day today, but thankfully, that was not the case. We have some leftover showers out there this evening, the last of the tornado watch in effect for a handful of counties in northwest PA, west central PA. That will be discontinued here pretty shortly. All of this is part of a deepening low-pressure system, both at the surface and up in the middle levels of the atmosphere across the mid-Ohio River Valley, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, right underneath that circulation. This circulation will keep strengthening overnight and pushing off to the north. It is dragging in much, much drier air. So we're in the last throes of this humid air mass. Dew point's still in the mid-60s as of 7:30, but the dew points are in the 50s and 40s off to our north and west, and that's the air mass that's coming our way. So that's some good news. The bad news is, boy, we're going to fast forward the clock about a month here with late October-ish weather on Thursday. Thick blanket of stratocumulus clouds all day. Might be a sprinkle here and there, a shower in spots maybe. Might have to flip on the wipers once or twice. Most of the day, though, just cloudy and chilly and hoodie weather. Pretty uneventful otherwise for Thursday. Clouds will stick around maybe into early Friday morning. By the afternoon, the sun is out. Great evening for high school football Friday evening. It'll be cool, but hey, it's late September. That's kind of what we expect. Here's our next weather maker. It's on Saturday with a weak cool front, maybe producing a couple of rain showers, and then we're in pretty good shape for Sunday and early next week. Wanted to talk briefly before we leave you this evening about the longer range. This cool down is just kind of a one-day deal on Thursday. By early next week, the trough of low pressure that will continue pivoting across the northeast over the weekend will give way to a pretty stout ridge shown by the modeling here as we go towards October the 1st, almost an omega block pattern setting up, the Greek letter omega, almost, with a trough along the east coast, west coast, in the middle, pretty stout ridge. And what this will probably do for us is produce quite a bit of mild and largely dry weather, we think, as we wrap up September and head into the month of October, believe it or not, in about a week and a half. So I don't see a lot of chilly and inclement weather heading our way at the very end of this month and early in October. We'll have more updates on the longer range during future editions of Weather for Weather Geeks. I'm going to give my voice a rest this evening. Thanks for watching and have a great night.